We love you, and God loves you so much, so much. Thank you for being here today and worshiping with us. We are family here at Word of Life. So welcome home, church.
Tonight, you were supposed to have found out what your primary temperament is and your secondary, and you have to know them both. So first thing I'm going to do tonight is talk about the lion first. So how many in here you're considered a lion? Raise your hand if you are.
Raise your hand, Deb.
Not too many lions in here. Good. 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 They're mean. All right. The powerful choleric lion. You'll know the powerful choleric by the way they walk into the room and take charge of everything. They are extroverts who can intuitively size up a situation and delegate the task to get it done. You won't catch them deliberating too long over details like the beaver. They are a no-nonsense person who sets goals and believes in fairness. The lion is practical, hardworking, self-sufficient, multitasker. This dogmatic person is a born leader, very keen and capable of responsibility. They will take a stand and stick to it no matter what. They will not be influenced by what others think. You can give them your opinion, it rolls right off their back. They already got their mind made up. They are the least sensitive or sympathizing with others of all four temperaments. Isn't that nice to know? The lion is good at making decisions that is very goal-oriented. They are good leaders, foremen, or bosses. They would make good police women or men, police chiefs, good bank managers, store managers, owners of an establishment of some kind. They would enjoy being general manager, CEOs of corporations, lawyers, judges, doctors, producers, or directors. Those are usually the jobs that a lion would want to do. He may not get that to it, but he might want to. Anywhere they can find a place to lead and be boss, they would gravitate to. Okay, next I'm going to talk about the lion combinations. What that means is, I'm not talking about husband-wife tonight. I'm going to do that the next time we meet, when we talk about his and hers, and find out what happens when his and hers meet and are married. But we're going to talk about that lion first, himself or herself. A person's primary temperament will be the stronger influence in their personality. But they all have, every one of us has a secondary temperament. And if you don't know that temperament, you're not really going to understand why you may not be like some of the other lions. Because that secondary, a lot of times, changes things. It will always modify the tendencies of your primary temperament. The combination will represent a person's normal, the usual, and daily behavior, both of them together. Okay, first one is the lion otter. How many of those people that raised their hands, your number two is otter? One way in the back, one over here. Okay, that person, known as the executive, has a primary need to get results and a secondary need to be accepted socially. The executive easily inspires others to get results. All right? Next is the golden retriever, the lion and the golden retriever mix. How many that's a lion, have the golden retriever number 2? 1, 2, it's a good thing way back there because we need something to temper those lion down. Lion, golden retriever combo, or the director has a primary need to get results and a secondary need to accommodate others, which is not normally what a lion would do. Dogmatically resist change. They will use direct and persistent methods to get results or promote their ideas. Now, when I'm up here making comments and saying, this is what they usually do, this is what they don't do, now you have to remember, there is no set model. Everybody's going to be different because you have all 4 temperaments mixed in there somewhere. And they all will change you into maybe a more of even-keeled person if you have all 4 temperaments, and at least some of those have a higher number. Lastly is the lion beaver. That's the combination called the strategist. Has a primary need to get results, and a second was to do it right. They need time to develop their strategy to achieve the goal. They are not trying to be right, but are trying to figure out what is right. So how many lions? Beaver was your number 2. Great. Okay, 3. I saw 3 hands. All right, next. Next is the perfect beaver. I didn't write this. I'm only the messenger. Oh, yeah, I heard you, Cindy. I'm going to shoot her later. She's a lion, by the way. Oh, yeah, right. You act like one, though. The perfect beaver who wants everything done properly and in order. They are systematic and labor over details. Typically, they are an extreme introvert. I'm not an introvert, but that's like I said, not everybody is. And systematically over details, I can remember, I just remember when Pastor Tom was at my house and I was going to close up my swimming pool. And I started going through a lot of this stuff. And I said to him, I said, I'm doing this very fast tonight. I said, and I'm skipping things just because you're here. I forget what he said, but it wasn't nice. Because he couldn't believe I was taking all that time as it was. He does? Turn that mic on. Turn it off. Don't turn it on. Turn on. That's it.
Okay. Pastor Kurt was fixing his pool and he's checking the tension on every line. He says, how was it that, if you weren't, I would drive you crazy if I would do this the way I wanted to do it. Okay, and I'm looking at him, I said, you're driving me crazy now.
Yeah, the Lord just brought that to my mind.
Get it done, get it done, and let's go get a pizza.
They are constantly analyzing themselves and others and can be prone to depression. I don't know about that one either. The beaver usually detests group gatherings. I don't know about that one either. And doesn't seek to make new acquaintances. They have a few friends to whom they are extremely faithful. Oh, geez, I wish I had a couple friends. Self-sacrifice is a great pleasure for the beaver. And they feel things intensely, though you wouldn't always know it. They are a thinker, a philosopher. Facts roll easily off the tongue of a studious beaver. They would rather read or study than interact with others. They are prone to procrastination and legalism. Yet they are organized and self-disciplined. The beaver is a perfectionist who must have his life in order and tries to have everyone else's also as well. The beaver, great at organizing in all aspects of work, because now I'm going to talk about the work habits. They're process-oriented and define, oh brother, who wrote this? Beavers are great at organizing and all aspects of work, what the work might be. They are process-oriented and a definite follow-through to the end of every job. See, he interrupted me. They lean toward the creative occupations like a musician, an artist, a writer, a tailor, a designer, culinary arts, interior decorator, architects. Yep, I designed all my houses. They also fill the ranks of accountants, inventors, and philosophers. Our best elementary teachers who never tire of drilling our heads with phonics rules and the multiplication tables, they're usually beavers. They are good at teaching computer technology classes, which I had to do at school, and I was just learning how to use the computer myself. In school, beavers completed assignments and job results and are the neatest and most thorough when they hand in their papers. Beavers' personality are not trying to be right. They are driven to figure out what is right. Now, the beaver's temperament, strengths, and weaknesses does not mean that they will always demonstrate that weakness. So we're going to be flashing those up on the screen later on this evening. And every one of those weaknesses that are going to show up for all of these different temperaments, they may not pertain to you specifically. I just want to point that out. It is possible to learn how to control and overcome these natural weaknesses because temperament is a choice. Love is a choice. Love is not a feeling. Love is a choice. You choose to love your spouse. You choose to forgive them when they do something wrong. And they choose to forgive you when you do something wrong. And these natural weaknesses that we're going to talk about, you can work with those in your personality and in your temperament. The best jobs for beavers are most productive in a career that allows them to do detailed work. The beaver temperament combinations, everyone has traits of all four temperaments and can demonstrate the traits of any of the four temperaments when the need arises. For example, a beaver may be asked to evaluate an employee's performance. We need to be very direct. Like a lion, he isn't, but he's going to have to do that in this case. But the primary temperament will always have a stronger influence on their behavior. The secondary temperament will always modify the tendencies of the primary. I repeat this again because I want you to get this point. These two temperament combinations represent a person's normal, usual, and daily behavior. All right, first one. How many beavers are in the room? Raise your hand. All right. Next is how many beavers have lion as your secondary? I see a hand. I see two hands. Okay. All right. If that's the case, that combination is known as the instructor. Is driven by two temperament needs. Primary to do what things right and secondary needs to get results. They enjoy doing detailed work and telling others what they know. They make good instructors and teachers. All right, next is the beaver otter. Any beavers in here who have otter for their secondary? How many forgot to look to see what you were doing for the second one? Okay? The beaver otter, known as the diplomat, driven by a primary to do things right. Second need is to be accepted socially, because that's the otter part. They easily work with a variety of other temperaments. They are natural peacemakers and bring harmony at home or work. Next is the beaver golden retriever. Any beavers have golden retriever as their secondary? I'll raise both hands. I found that right after Paul and I got married, it was a good thing I have beaver in me, but not only beaver, I have golden retriever. Because if it didn't, she would have probably divorced me after about a month or two. And it was hard at the beginning to put up with her, really. No. Driven by a primary need to do things right and a secondary need to be accommodating. They don't mind working alone and doing detailed work. They need a reason to change their routine. Next is one that I really don't even want to talk about. It's the popular otter. I don't know of any popular otters. Pastor Tom, he's the otter. It's easy to spot the popular otter. They make grand entrances, and they are the life of every party. They are extroverts who love to tell funny stories and to be the center of attention. They are warm and loving and enjoy everything about life. How come I didn't get a pastor like that? It's easy for something to warm their hearts and cause an outburst of response. They have a craving for approval and will slump into defeat under negative comments. Uh-oh. And I made a negative comment. I'm sorry, Pastor Tom. Given praise and encouragement, the otter will go to extremes to please you, for they want to be noticed and loved. They may be so cheerful and joyful that they may even appear by some people to be phony or coming on too strong. They may speak before they think. The otter lives for the moment and goes with the flow. In their energy, enthusiasm, it happens. They're also quickly distracted. I found that out myself. I tried to catch him one day in the hall to talk to him. And I got about 10 words out, and he was talking to the secretary over here and that person over there. I thought, the otter is at it again. They love to be with their friends and can easily ignore the weaker tendencies. The otter at work, what is their vocation? They think of creative new ideas and activities and have what it takes to inspire others to join them in taking risks. They are motivators, embrace change and variety. When it comes to teamwork, they are the quintessential networker and will use their contact base to gather resources for just about any project. Their job choices are where they can invent or be creative or design or come up with new ideas. They get to interact with people. Their choice would be scientists, inventors, musicians, songwriters, movie producers, playwrights, designers, advertising, a car salesperson, a realtor, or a pastor like our Pastor Tom. Otter personality types is naturally people-oriented. Of the 4 temperaments, the otter is by far the most versatile. I hate even saying it. The other 3 temperaments are all limited in what they can do, but the otter is not. Due to possessing the widest range of emotions, that's the otter. This allows them to participate basically on their second temperament in many different types of activities. They often like to participate in or change their environment. the areas of business, politics, sports, entertainment are dominated primarily by the otter personality. So all those people in Hollywood doing whatever any of them do, because they all have different kind of jobs, most of them are otters. An otter is optimistic, hopeful, cheerful. Their tone of voice conveys excitement and warmth. Now, their combinations. Who in here is an otter besides Pastor Tom? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Pastor Tom was 6. Okay. Of you otters, what's your second one? Is it lion? If you're a lion, raise your hand. 1. Okay, the lion. They are now called the negotiator. Primary need to be accepted socially, and a secondary to just get some results. They are natural negotiators, try to persuade others to see and view their point of view. How about an otter with the second one of golden retriever? 3, okay. There might be more hands, but I can't see. 4. Golden retriever combo known as the relator. Primary need, accentuate socially, and second to accommodate others. They love to build and keep relations. The last one is the otter beaver, known as the performer. Anybody? Otter, beaver? Good, I don't even have to talk about it. But you should have raised your hand. Wait till you hear what I have to say. Primary need to be socially accepted, and second, to do things right. They are the most creative of all the temperament blends. Happens to be the otter and the beaver. That's with one person. And they could end up in art, music, decoration, problem solving, etc. All right, next is the peaceful golden retriever. How many golden retrievers are in the room? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Pastor Sheldon's got 2 hands up. 20, 21, 22. There's more golden retrievers in here than any other. That's a good thing, by the way. A peaceful person, easygoing, happy-go-lucky. The beaver wants to stay out of trouble and get along with everybody. They are enjoyable to be around. See, how come my wife wasn't like that? But are laid back. I'll tell you, my wife is wonderful. And that's the truth. And that, you know how they said that, and that's the truth. And they're laid back and don't get too excited about much. They are an introvert, which she isn't either, who love peace and quiet. They won't often find them in trouble with authority because they don't want to do things wrong. They avoid fights and arguments. They have natural dry humor and a wittiness keep their friends laughing constantly. They don't get ruffled about much and is the same consistent, caring person each time you see them. They tend not to get too involved in things and would rather sit back and watch the action. I guess that's some of them. But when arise, she is competent and an efficient worker. The golden retriever is gracious and kind to all. They love everybody and everybody loves them back. These people fit into any situation, blend in with the scenery. They modify their personality just so they can get along without conflict. I'm glad that is the case sometimes. They do appreciate being noticed once in a while and being included in conversations, although they won't push their way into them on their own. They enjoy being told they are of value and their opinion matters. the Golden Retriever's jobs. The sweetheart, these are the sweethearts of all 4 personality types. That's the Golden Retriever. They make excellent counselors, diplomats, elementary teachers. They are receptionists, secretaries, nurses, caretakers, counselors, doctors, and both of either the very old or even the young. They aren't choosy, they're just a doctor. What does it do it all? And they are veterinarians. My wife missed her calling. Daycare owners and workers. As homebodies, they love to putter around the house, working well under pressure and duties, kids and family. They make great phone contact persons, receptionists, salespeople. Most jobs they have to do with interacting with others. But if they are working out of the home or anywhere, they want to interact with people in a caring and loving way. That's where they will gravitate to. All right, of you Golden Retrievers that raised your hand, do you have a lion as your secondary? 1, 2. I'm not surprised. Driven by a primary need to be a natural peacemaker and bring harmony at home and at work, and a second need to get results. And if the kids don't do it, they're in trouble. Okay, Golden Retriever Beavers next. How many Golden Retrievers? Oh, geez. Oh, my. That's a shame. Golden Retriever Beaver, driven by a primary need to be a natural peacemaker and bring harmony at home and at work, and a secondary need to do things right. I happen to be a Beaver Golden Retriever, so I understand. A Golden Retriever and the Otter is the last one. How many have oh, geez, there's 3 back there. Pastor Tom, you recruited some people. What's 2 over there, 3 over there? Okay, so we have some Golden Retriever Otters, driven by a primary need to be a natural peacemaker and bring harmony at home and at work, and a second need to be accepted socially. They easily work with a variety of other temperaments. Think about this. Many times we are not in the right job for our personality. Does anybody feel that they were in the wrong job or are still in the wrong job? Wow, all you people. Because nobody has a hand. Oh, what? Somebody take that man out of his misery. I can believe it. Many times they're not in the right job. Oh, well. And other times they're in a job and put alongside an opposite temperament. Persons that we have trouble working with. No comment. And that equation being a Christian in a job with antagonistic non-believers. This could be the case for people. Answer these questions. Ask yourself. Depending on your temperament and the pressure you are put in to produce, you have to decide, is this the job for me to stay at? Is the stress too much for me? Can I make a difference in the lives of people I work with? Can I be productive in this job? And is it worth it for me? And the stress I'm now putting on my family. Do I have other options to change jobs? And I didn't say to change spouses. I said to change jobs. Because as Christians, divorce is not an option. All right. Gary Smalley was the one who wrote the books about these temperaments. He said all of us have distinct personalities, and all of us can, without knowing it, push some of our inborn characteristics to an unhealthy extreme. that can wreak havoc in our marriage, our family, and our friends. And that's what we're trying to avoid. The personality inventory you took shows your tendencies. It's not like fingerprints that never changes. These tendencies can change. You could take this temperament analysis test and 20 years take it again, and it changes a little. And it should if you're a good Christian. Discovering your personality tendencies in relationships helps to show where your strengths and weaknesses exist. Our weaknesses will surface in our relationships. How we react when they are pointed out will have to be submitted to God. And I say what we need to do is stop, look, and listen. Stop doing what you did. Look at the reactions you have caused because of what you said or did in your relationship, and allow others, like your spouse, family members, or a friend, the freedom to speak into your life. And the last one, listen. With an open heart, you listen to God for correction and direction. Change always comes from the Father in heaven, but those close to us can kind of help the process along a little bit. But God's the one that makes the change in us. So when we go over these negative, bad parts about our temperaments, they may not apply to everyone in here, every one of them, but we need to put down some of them and bring up the other part. Your greatest personal strengths, when pushed out of balance, become weaknesses. All right, first one, the sheets that you were given, the third sheet down, the way they stapled these together, it's called lions. Lion strengths and weaknesses. There they are. Oh, there they are. All right, yeah, you can't see those too well, but you have a sheet in front of you. So take a look at the lion weaknesses. Bossy, impatient, quick-tempered, can't relax, too impetuous, enjoys controversy, and he likes arguments, and he won't give up even if he's losing. Comes on too strong and flexible, is not complimentary, dislikes tears, and emotion is unsympathetic. And that's only on their emotions. Then they also have work habits that have these. And you can see them there. You have them. I'm not going to go over all of them. Some of them may apply to you at times, and some of you may have gotten over some of these, and you've worked through them, and you don't do some of those things anymore in your relationship with your spouse, hopefully. All right, next one. The next page is the beaver. The beaver also has some things that are not wonderful. Compulsive talker. Oh no, that's an otter. They stapled those. These aren't in the right order. Does yours say that too? Otter is the second. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be the beaver next. So, and the beaver, flip over to the beaver. Remembers, as soon as I read that first one, I thought, that's not right. Remembers the negative, moody and depressed, enjoys being hurt, has false humility, often in another world, low self-image, has selective hearing, self-centered, too introspective, guilt feeling, persecution complex, tends to be a hypochondriac. Oh well. And you can see them here, work habits, and also with their friends, how they react. I can't go over all of that or we'll run out of time, which we almost are. Next was the otter. I'm going right in order the way we do it on the chart. The otter weaknesses: compulsive talker, exaggerates, elaborates, dwells on trivia, can't remember names, scares others off, too happy for some, has restless energy, egotistical, blusters and complains, naive, gets taken in, has loud voice and laugh, controlled by circumstances, gets angry easily, seems phony to some, and never grows up. Now, are you an otter? Oh, I know, that one is. No, so don't forget, that doesn't mean you have every one of these, or these are a weakness you may have, but these are a weakness tendency that could take place. And again, I'm not going to go over all of those. And the next one is the golden retriever. They are unenthusiastic. My wife, that's not my wife. Fearful and worried, indecisive, avoids responsibility, quiet, will of iron, a selfish, too shy and reticent, too compromising, self-righteous. Well, I don't recognize most of those at all. So that's emotions. And then there's work, and same thing with the friends. You have this sheet. I'm glad they printed it out, saving me a lot of work. And since it's almost time to quit, I'm just going to say a couple words. What we've just gone over is what God has to work with through us. And he wants to use our personality, our temperaments, for his purposes. He didn't make us slaves, and he didn't make us puppets. We have a choice. And I said to you, and it said on that sheet before you circled those words on that chart, on that sheet I gave you, it describes a consistent character trait. And your character traits will mirror traits of the animal, lion, beaver, otter, golden retriever. And it shows up even when you're a tiny little kid. You see 4 little kids playing, one of them acts like the boss. Guess what? They're a lion. Automatically. And then one of them is, I'll do whatever anybody else wants to do, a golden retriever. So anyway, those are the things that you're going to see happen.